Hey everyone, so today I'm going to talk about one of the books that I feel like is one of my favorites. I have not read a book this good in such a long time, and that is Under the Dome by Stephen King. Now, I have no idea how long this video is going to be. Hopefully it's not going to be too long, because I could just ramble on about this book. It was such a great book. So for those of y'all that have started off with watching the TV series, please do not let that judge your opinion of this book. I first started off by watching the TV series. I saw the first season, but then after that it got kind of weird for me, so I actually stopped watching it. And I'm so happy I picked up this book because, let me tell you, it is 10 times greater than the TV series. Actors in the TV series are great, but the story is just bizarre and it really makes no sense. Now, I just want to give a quick disclaimer about this book, and that is that if you are kind of sensitive or if you are young, I would advise you guys not to read this book because there are a few scenes of rape that goes on, and there is a lot of deaths in this book. And let me tell you that Stephen King gets kind of descriptive about that, so just watch out, and if that's not something you want to read, then feel free to skip it. So the story is about the people who live within this town called Chester's Mill. One day this dome just appears out of nowhere and closes this town off from the rest of the world, and the people inside are left to defend for themselves. So we have this character named Jim Rennie, and he is a great Christian. He's a selectman, and he wants to help this town get through this hard crisis that has hit them. But don't let that fool you. Jim Rennie does not want to take care of people. He wants to take care of himself first and foremost. He wants to be in control, making the decisions, telling people what to do, what they can't do, and he is not nice at all. Now, anyone who stands in Jim Rennie's way or opposes what he is doing has a target on their back. Now we have Del Barbara. He is a chef at Sweetbriar Rose, and he is an ex-military guy. And Colonel Cox is called, and the president wants Barbara to take control of this town and find out what is going on because they believe that it may be an inside job. When Barbie approaches Jim and tells him what the president wants, Jim does not like this, and this is where it is his job to eliminate Barbara and all of his friends who are supporting him. Because it is God's will for Jim Rennie to deliver these people from this hard crisis and to cover up his tracks. The one great thing about this book is that it kind of reminded me of Animal Farm, except the adult version. And the reason why I say that is because Jim Rennie is basically a nobody. All he is a second selectman, and he eventually starts to build his way up where it starts to become like a dictatorship and people start fearing him. So that is one thing I enjoyed about this book, how you can see this small town, it's a nice little town, and then it turns on its head and it becomes basically a living hell. You start to see how people change, how the way things are running is changing. So I like the fact that you can see how it slowly progresses into a dictatorship. Now, another great thing about this book is that there are about 50 main characters, and you're gonna love some, you're gonna hate some, and some of them you just don't care about. And I love the fact that there is no main character. There are a few big characters, and there are a few small characters, and it also switches. So someone might be a small character in the beginning, but they become a big character at the end, and vice versa. So I love that, and I love the fact that it leaves anyone open to die. Again, I'm a huge fan of killing major characters, and for me this book was like, no way, like I was shocked with some of the stuff that went on. Now there are a few characters I love, and I'll name a few. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but I love Sammy Bushy. She has a very sad story, and I was just rooting for her to get her revenge. And I don't want to spoil it, but she was one of my favorite stories to read about. I also liked Rusty Everett and Jackie Weddington. Those were a few stories that I enjoyed. I love transforming with the characters. Like, you see them, like, they're like, oh no, this town's perfect, nothing bad is going on. But then they start to open their eyes and they see what has changed and the way life is. They don't like it. and they have to find their voice. Like, are they gonna say something? Are they gonna stand up against Jim Rennie and his crew? And there are a few who are silent, and I'm like, just yell, just say something. You have things that can bring him down, but they're too afraid. And they eventually find their voice and say enough is enough. That was one thing I loved about this book, just growing with the characters. As far as the rating for this book, of course I'm giving it a big fat 5. I would give it a 10 if I could, but I'm going from a 1 to 5 scale. It was just a great book that I truly enjoyed. And I'm even a bigger fan of Stephen King. Like, wow, I thought Misery was good. That's nothing. Now, this is a book I definitely want to reread again. Just a heads up, it is almost 1,100 pages, but it's definitely worth it. And at first, the first 150, maybe 200 pages is a little slow, but it starts to take off, and from there it just gets better and better. Now, for those of y'all that have read the book, I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of the story? Which character did you like? Which character didn't you like? What was your favorite part? And just overall, what did you think of it? So that's it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe.